We're back.
We've had some technical difficulties and we'll be going through live streaming soon. So just to restart with you guys, thank you guys so much for joining our first live stream of 2018. My name is Matthew Thibodeau. I'm the owner of the Matthew Aaron Agency. I've got Meg, Hannah, and Megan with me as well. We're going to wait a few seconds. This is our second take. Again, social media stuff happens all the time, but we really want this video to look as clean as possible. We don't want it turned upside down or anything like that.
Although that's my best side.
Right, exactly. We'd like it to be an HD quality if possible, but things happen with social media. We get that. But we're really excited to talk to you guys today about some interesting announcements from Mark Zuckerberg about 2 weeks ago. We feel like this is going to change so many people in the way that they interact on their news feeds from brands and also people in general. These changes aren't just for business pages, they're happening all around. So we're going to dive in, we're going to be having a fun conversation. Thank you to everyone who's watching us right now. If you're not able to check it out, we will be posting this video later. We've got so many other exciting announcements, but before we go into the nitty-gritty and the meat of what we're talking about, I'm going to let Meg go in and talk about how you can follow along, or better follow along our presentation.
Absolutely. So one of the things that we know is there's a lot of information, and this is going to be a lot to digest. So what we've done is we've created a one-page, simple-to-follow PDF that you can download. Just follow the link in our comments. Click on that, put your information in, and it will get sent straight to your email for you to download and to follow along with all four of our really exciting conversations. Some great just information and directives. This is what you need to be doing. Perfect.
Yeah, and so before I kind of dive into Mark's specific statement on Facebook from 2 weeks ago, we've gotten a few comments earlier on our feed and everything like that on our event. If you have any other comments, please post them on our live feed right now. We'd love to get your engagement on this live feed. We have our team tracking the comments, and at the end of our discussion, we'll be going into the specific comments as well. So that being said, let's get into it. So I'm just going to read this is specifically from Mark Zuckerberg. If you Facebook search Mark Zuckerberg, you can find this post. It was actually 2 weeks ago on a Thursday. I think it was in the afternoon. But the main thing that he said, or the first point that he said is, we built Facebook to help people stay connected and bring us closer together with the people that matter to us. That's why we've always put friends and family at the core of the experience.
Yeah, it's going to be a shift for sure. I was talking to some people about this change, and I was like, oh my gosh, I remember when it used to be a wall, and then they made the news feed, and everyone was like up in arms. I feel like it's kind of this another like monumental shift. Yeah, and strategy is going to be so important.
Right. Some of the things with strategy is that the frequency of when you post needs to be lessened because the space on your newsfeed is limited. Facebook is basically saying that like we're not going to be showing these posts by businesses as much or as often as we were before. So it's important that you post less, and the things that you do post have a lot of purpose and intent.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be more quality versus quantity when it comes to what you want to post for your content. I know it doesn't seem that long ago where quantity seemed to trump quality sometimes, but they are, like they said in Mark's statement, he wants the relationships to matter more, and so that quantity really doesn't matter as much anymore.
And we feel like businesses have an opportunity to really create relationships with their customer bases and their clients. I mean, there are people who, genuinely just love some of the businesses they interact with. It's a great way to capitalize. I don't want this to scare anybody. It's just like, hey, this is going to be a great opportunity for you to continue to build relationships and like real relationships with the people that you deal with online every day.
And it's also a good point to like not, if you're a business owner that maybe you don't have an agency doing your work and every morning you sit there and stress, what am I going to post today, just to put something out there, it's probably better for you. So now you don't have to worry about that so much, and you can kind of focus on, I've got this really great special, I've got this really great picture with my team that I want to put out there that I know is going to probably spark some engagement, and you can focus on that versus, just getting something out just to get it out.
Yeah, one of the things Matt likes to say is that people who, or businesses who are using Facebook, or really people too, because this will affect not just businesses but everybody, that just use Facebook as a bulletin board, that's going to go away.
Yeah.
It's not just a digital billboard, digital bulletin board anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a strategy, I mean, with your marketing in general, but specifically when it comes to social media, and we're talking about Facebook today, you have to have a strategy with the content and messaging you're pushing out.
Yeah.
If you are using it just as a digital bulletin board where I can post whatever I want, when I want to, I mean, the big thing that Mark is saying is that, you know, your organic reach to your existing following is going to significantly decrease.
Yeah, and that leads right into the next section of Mark's statement that we're going to read.
Yes, so his next major point is we're making a major change to how we build Facebook. I'm changing the goal I give our product teams from focusing on helping you find relevant content to helping you have more meaningful social interactions. This is going to show right there, and it kind of ties back into strategy, that it's going to be very important that what you do post is about the relationships with your audience as opposed to just sell. It's going to be making those connections with people that you maybe don't meet with in person and starting that conversation on the post that you are making.
Yeah, and if anybody is in a group, like even a buy or sell group or a group around something that you love, those are where the real conversations happen. That's a great, if you're not in a group right now, join a group so you can even just watch how the conversation goes down, what kind of questions people ask, the advice that people ask for, because that's the stuff that they're looking for.
Mm-hmm. And you can set one of those up like on your business page.
Sure,
that way
right.
you can be those people who are really interested in your business. They can be in that exclusive group or whatever, to where they're really getting that one-on-one interaction with your business and having that conversation.
Yeah, one of the big things is engagement bait. Like the whole comment your thoughts below. That's not gonna happen anymore.
Right.
Or it's gonna happen, but if you do it, you're not gonna get any organic engagement that you want is probably not gonna happen very.
But look, I mean, Facebook has an algorithm for its newsfeed. It was changed, several years ago in 2012, 2014, they made newer updates. Obviously 2 weeks ago, this is a major announcement, but Facebook also hasn't laid out, where you can find your specific algorithm for your business page or even your personal page to reach the most people. It's not like they say, hey, this specific video and the messaging behind it gives you +1 in the algorithm. Or if you use engagement bait, or if you're specifically just selling on your Facebook page, you're going to get minus points. So they do tell us though, and with Mark's specific message, he's saying, I want the focus to be on conversations. And again, it's not just focusing on business pages or brands, it's everyone in general. And talking about that, I mean, for anyone who's using a personal account as a direct sales tool, I mean, you're going to see a lot of your organic reach to suffer tremendously. And one, we highly recommend anyone in a business format, they should have their own business page. I mean, that only makes sense with what Facebook is doing.
Yeah, you can get real-time results there. I mean, a business page gives you so much more access to what is actually happening on your page than a personal one.
Right, and it might take you a while. I mean, I think a lot of times you're discouraged to get a business page from your personal because you're like, well, I have 0 followers. But take that as an opportunity to build your page, put the things on there that people will want to follow, and then grow your audience in a different way, to where you might have people who really you probably won't want to be friends with on your personal page, but at least you're growing your audience and building your brand to those people who are interested in what you're selling.
Yeah, we kind of dabble in this term Facebook currency, and the currency of Facebook has changed over the years from its inception. And a little when I started working specifically with social media, the currency was shares. The more shares you got, the more posts you were going to see. Before shares, it was likes. How many page likes do you have? Now the currency we're dealing with is comments. So you may have 145 likes on your page, but a post may have 60 comments, and that post is going to have a lot more weight than your actual page does. Yeah. So just following and knowing what kind of where the conversation.
And then one thing they said was long comments, which is probably going to be a struggle for some when we want to just put an emoji or put a thumbs up or put a heart, whatever, and or just say yes, me too. But it's like they want you to start conversations. So think about leaving those longer comments or whatever. Or,
think about what you would say to someone in person.
Yeah.
I wouldn't just we were joking the other day. Hannah made a comment and I wanted to respond to it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to say. All I could think is me too. I was like, how would I respond to her in real life? Like when we're sitting at our desk, I wouldn't just say, me too, and then like go back to working.
Right.
So that's a good way to think of your long form comments.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole purpose is that they want the interaction. It's getting back to the basics of people communicating, which was the initial platform for Facebook. And so I think that's where the comments really come into play as an important factor. And it can work for businesses, it's just going to be a switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of businesses,
So the next little excerpt from his statement is, the first changes you'll see will be in the news feed, where you can expect to see more from your friends, family, and groups. As we roll this out, you'll see less public content like posts from businesses, brands, and media. It should encourage meaningful interactions between people. So that right there, talks about your business pages, organic reach is going to go down, just like we said. So this is a good time to start looking at investing in your business page and putting some money behind the posts that you make, so that way they are being seen.
yeah, I know that's really scary for some people because you're like, oh, I don't want to I can do this. Like, it's like going back to that digital billboard situation he was talking about. Like, we've been able to use it as a digital billboard for so long, but now we're gonna have to kind of put our money where our mouth is, and it's still the easiest access point. It's still the cheapest access point into advertising.
But and the big thing is having a strategy. Okay, when Mark says, he wants to focus, his news feed and the products around it on engaging conversations. Again, if you haven't had a strategy, or your strategy has been just to post to get something out there, then yes, your organic reach will be significantly hindered. However, if you have a strategy in place, if you're focusing on quality content over quantity and encouraging in conversations, focusing on your people, testimonials, and what really differentiates your brand, then you don't have anything to worry about.
Yeah, right. You're already doing the right thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you're on your way.
Yeah, and we're going to talk more about ads and break all that down in a later Friday social segment with us. So, but point from that, you're going to have to use ads.
Yeah.
We'll teach you how. And the last segment that we want to read from Mark's statement is, now I want to be clear. By making these changes, I expect the people, I'm going to start. Now I want to be clear. By making these changes, I expect the time people spend on Facebook and some measures of engagement will go down. But I also expect the time you do spend on Facebook will be more valuable. And if we do the right thing, I believe that it'll be good for our community and our businesses over the long term too. I think he ends it on a positive note, as any good bomb drop should end on a positive note.
Yeah.
But it's all about getting back to think of Facebook from this big, like we've been saying, digital bulletin board to now a mixer, now a networking mixer.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to note, I know it's a big bomb drop and a lot of people are kind of freaking out about it. They don't know how this is going to affect them. The good thing is that Mark is being very transparent. He's being very upfront as to exactly what is going to happen. So it's going to take adjustment, but we're not going to be shocked. He's telling us exactly what's going to happen as it happens. We just have to kind of change our outlook on it and change, like we said, our strategy. That's going to be the most important thing.
Yeah.
But it's not something to be scared about. It's just a new way to embrace it.
Yeah, we're gonna go through some specific ways that, like, some specific, like, physical things that you can set or you can have your followers set to help some of that, to help ease some of everyone's concern.
But we're going to dive into that a lot more in depth over the next few seminars, but I mean, advertising on Facebook is going to be huge if it already wasn't part of your game plan. And I'm not just talking about boosting, any of the posts that are on your page. Yes, that is, one big area, but there's also, a Facebook Power Editor, there's, a Facebook Ads Manager. There's so many unique ways that you can target, and drive traffic. But some of the big things are now, if more and more businesses are utilizing Facebook advertising, guess what? The price for those ads are going to go up. Absolutely. We've been blown away, over the last year or so, seeing, video ads that we're running that are, being charged maybe 1 penny per view. Well, those days may be over, You
want to get in some questions and answers?
Yes.
Okay, so we asked the people in our event, which encapsulates all 4 events. Like, one event has all 4 the next Fridays.
Yeah.
So if you have a question, it's already up. You can put it in there, or you can leave it in the comments, and we'll answer it live. If we don't get to you on this live segment, then we will get to you next week.
And I think we did get a question on our live stream right now from Missy. Yeah, from Missy, so we'll be answering that shortly as well. And we've got a few that y'all sent, so we'll be talking about those too.
Yeah,
if
so-
you have any others, send them in while we're talking right now, and we'll make
Yes.
sure we answer them.
So our first question is from our friend Kimberly Newell, and she asks, what's the best day or week, or best time of the day or week to post? I mean, Mark says it, our organic reach is gonna drop.
Right.
So,
I mean, if you're relying on organic reach still, and whatever, then it would be best to really utilize the insights on your business page. You can see the best times of the day where your followers are online and your posts are getting the most reach from your organic approach. So like the best thing to do would be to look at it this week and maybe take a screenshot of it and look at it again next week. But like he said, organic reach is going down, so
Right.
it may be in your best interest again to start thinking of putting some ad dollars to your post. And then when you do that, the times of day you post really doesn't matter anymore, because you're spending the money to get it to the people that you want to reach.
yeah, and it's gonna completely, like, it's gonna keep circulating within that newsfeed. I like to describe it as like when you do an ad, it's like throwing a stone into a pond, and the ripples keep going for longer than that stone is actually like on the pond.
Yeah, I mean, so the biggest thing is, and I'll give you some sweet spots on best times, but look at your insights and analytics. That's what Facebook specifically provides, is all these different tools. We can even post a screenshot on how to find that. But what we've noticed is if you're only posting on your Facebook page Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, regular business hours, you're missing out on some huge chunks of real estate. So
Yeah.
the evening time, I've seen a sweet spot kind of across all of our platforms from like 6 to about 9 p.m. Then I've noticed from about 9:30 at night to almost 9 in the morning, and then we're doing this at 10, you're not going to you may not reach as many organically. But it all depends on your brand, your
Right.
following, your audience. So you really say you need to dig into some of those insights.
Yeah, like if you have a brand that's like heavily reliant on like moms, like think about like dinner time and bedtime are probably not your best times to put out something that you want some organic reach on. Maybe after a traditional bedtime would be a much better, or kind of in the like right after school drop off, or when they're waiting in the school pickup line.
Yeah.
Kind of some thoughts.
Our next question is from Caitlin Marie. She asked, what is the best strategy for engagement without baiting? So in the past, many different businesses do contests or promotions, and they might say, enter to win by liking this post and comment below. Those days are going to be over. Mark specifically stated that they don't want you to bait the comments. They don't want you to tell people, hey, comment to start it, because it's a little more forced. They want it to be natural. So it's not saying get rid of contests altogether. It's saying change how you were utilizing your content.
Yeah.
So you might say, ask a question instead. What do you like to do? And let people communicate that way. It doesn't need to be so pointed as to comment below.
Yeah, and one of the things, this is probably the biggest area where trial and error comes in. I know that one of our plans is to come up with and grab out, that old dusty thesaurus and come up with like all the different ways that we can have people engage with our stuff, and like, does this one work? Check. Does this one, okay, this one didn't work. Okay, let's try it again. Like, you just have to go back to the drawing board again and again.
Yeah. And for each
we'll find our
and for each platform, it's going to be different. What might work on one business's page might not work for someone else's. It's kind of feeling out your audience and like what triggers them to start that conversation. And so probably over the next few months, it is going to be a trial and error thing. That way you can figure out what are the best things that spark that engagement and that conversation.
And that's when we were kind of talking about like personal pages versus business pages for selling. The business pages are going to give you that they're going to give you those analytics so you can see which post did better, and so you can trial and error it that way.
The last one is from Sophia Gross. Thoughts on collaborations between businesses and how to identify the best partnership for your audience. So obviously cross promotions are always a good thing. It looks good in your community, in your local community, to see businesses working with one another. And then it just gives if it's your business collaborating with another, it gives your business opportunity to reach a lot more people. So I'd say, continue to do that. And I mean, there's really probably no way to like identify the best partner. I think it's just kind of figuring out what works, start with who you know and those relationships that you already have, and go from there. Try something, see if it works, and then continue it.
And when you're picking partners to collaborate with, you don't necessarily just look at how many likes and followers they have.
Yeah.
Look at what their content they are actually producing. Does their content get a lot of engagement? And you could have 2,000 followers, but you have 27, 30 comments in each, because they're doing such a good job of interacting with their followers and fans. Like, that is perfect. So who cares if they have 2,000 followers? If those 2,000 followers are engaged and they are listening to what that person has to say, like, that's better. That's gold.
You also want to make sure that your collaborator is the same audience as you, because otherwise, not that you're wasting time, but you want to make sure that you're extending your reach of who your target audience is, because at the end of the day, that is your goal, is to reach more people so that you can grow your business.
Yeah.
I would say some of our our favorite collaborations is with like the different nonprofits in the area. And so if you have an insurance company, a home builder, who's working with a local nonprofit to bring awareness to them. So it's utilizing your own social media presence to help to educate people about one of the local nonprofits in the area. And we can dive in more in detail in some of our other seminars on how to really utilize that. But again, to resonate what they've said, it has to work well with your brand.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got a question?
Yes. How does this affect ManyChat from Misty Carrier?
Perfect. Misty, can you read that one more time?
How does this affect ManyChat?
ManyChat.
ManyChat.
It's an app.
ManyChat.
We haven't, if you're talking about messenger bots, currently
Yes.
we're doing a lot of research into messenger bots. It's something that's going to be a huge part of this algorithmic change, and it's something we all have to do a lot more research on. I know that, I've really enjoyed it when I've had some messenger bot type of situations. So we're going to look into that and talk, when we talk about engagement in our in our next seminar, we'll talk a little bit more about how we can utilize kind of those like appy things and some of those like plugins and built-ins and things like that. Any
Yeah.
questions?
One more question.
Yeah.
Does the quality versus quantity strategy apply for live as well, from CJ Tinnen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Live is going to be so important. We're going to have an entire social segment just on live, but they're not talking like go live at a concert. I mean, that's fun,
Right.
but like you want to have a conversation with people like we're doing now.
Yeah.
Right, you want the live streams to still have meaning. You don't want to just go live for 10 seconds and just show this is what we're doing today and not say anything. You always want to have a message, and I think that's going to be key, is that whatever you are saying, whether it be on a post, whether it be in an ad, or whether it be on a live stream, it has to mean something to your audience so that it sparks that conversation.
Yeah, Mark did say that live videos would be getting more weight in your news feeds, but that's if it has quality to it. It's gotta, if they're seeing that there's conversations going on, people are posting and commenting on your live in real time, and they're sparking that conversation, then it's gonna do well. But if it's just to show something random that you saw and then shut it down and nothing happens, and then it's gonna be kind of pointless.
Yeah, it's going to be, they want you. They want you on that live, talking to your people.
They want people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people connecting with people is basically what this all boils down to.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this goes back to last year's Super Bowl, so I'm interested to watch the commercials for this year. But it's the first time I ever saw a social media platform, specifically Facebook, advertise live streaming. That was last year. So it's not the future, it's now. I mean, we're recommending, to our clients, if it works within their strategy, obviously we're going to be incorporating a lot more live feed. But again, you have to have a strategy. So one of the first things I'd say is map out your week and your month on content that you want to push out. And obviously focus on including, the live streams in there, but figure out how to best position that as well. Mm-hmm. Like Hannah was talking about, live stream right now gets 6 times more interactions with your audiences. Mm-hmm. So figure out the best ways to incorporate it, but do it with a specific strategy at the same time.
And if you can only go live once a month because that's what works for you and it makes sense for you, then like do it. If you can go live every week, do it. I wouldn't go live every day, it might be a little much.
Yeah.
But you know, you work it in with what makes sense for you and your brand and your business.
But before we kind of wrap up, I mean, Megan kind of hit the nail on the head with live stream. Timing of live stream. It's not just a regular video. You know, if you want to do short 30-second, 60-second videos, you know, do a custom video. But, you know, if you're going to do a live stream, we say, I mean, we're almost at 25 minutes right now in ours. We were kind of looking for a sweet spot of about 15 to 20. But, I mean, it really just depends on your brand. I'd say at a minimum, I mean, you normally need about 5 minutes just to get people to, you know, start connecting and watching and things like that, unless you've gone ahead and promoted it. And schedule it out, and so those are other things where you can set it up, create events, and promote beforehand, which we'd recommend. And there's nothing wrong with you just doing a live off the cuff, but you want to give your fans notification as well.
Yeah, like we set up this event. Hopefully you're here because you saw about it. If you're not here because you saw about it, welcome. We're glad you're here. But you know, having a place that people know. Oh, hey, like let me pencil that into my calendar. That's gonna be great information.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So that about wraps it up
for
today. But next week, make sure you check in with us. We're going to talk about avoiding engagement bait. That'll be our topic for next Friday at 10 a.m. for our social segments. So I'm glad that you guys got with us today.
Thank you guys so much.
And remember, we have that downloadable PDF that kind of goes through and maps out some of the big changes. So you can click that link in our comments. We'll also post it in the event too. So we hope to see you in your inbox as well.
Yes. Sign on.
Thank you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.